Today's video is brought to you by my good friends over at Epidemic Sound, my go-to music source for all of my personal and client projects. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Daniel Schiffer, and I am here today to tell you to stop trying to find the right music for your videos. Hear me out. The reason finding the perfect song for your video is so difficult is because it does not exist. So unless you're planning to hire a musician to compose an original music track for the video you're creating, it is our job as video creators to edit and sequence visuals that go with and complement the music tracks that are already out there and available to us. Now the question is, of course, how do you do that? But I promise you it's not as hard as it sounds. So this right here is a spec ad I created a few months back, and I'm gonna walk you through my thought process and how I begin the sequencing process for a video like this. Once I've gotten my footage, and before I even start editing, I might drop a couple clips into a blank timeline, mess around with them, do a little bit of color grading and some slow-mo, just to get an idea of what these shots might look like a little bit closer to their final form. But at this point in time, all these are just some unedited clips. There is no video. So well before I even start editing these shots into a sequence, I need to find a song that I like, because the music is going to be what dictates that overall pace, that feeling, and that energy that drives the visual. And that brings us to rule number one: find some music you actually like. For just a few minutes, forget all about the video you're making and simply just look for songs that you actually enjoy listening to, something you would put on in the car and bop your head to while you're driving. I promise you, if you take that piece of advice seriously and you find a selection of music you like, this is gonna make your life a whole lot easier when it comes to narrowing that down to the track that you ultimately do end up using for your project. Now, if you don't do that and you're instead scrolling online, still searching for that specific perfect song for your seltzer ad or clothing ad, you're gonna have a tough time, because this limits your options tremendously and it's gonna give you tunnel vision or tunnel hearing. So what I do is I go into Epidemic Sound and I start listening to a bunch of different songs. I'll keep an open mind. I'm not really thinking about my video. I'm just trying to find good music that I genuinely enjoy. I usually start with the recommendations. This is based on your download history as well as your linked YouTube channel. And what I do to save myself some time is I actually skip ahead in the song to that first spike in the waveform where you can see the track thickens up a bit. Generally, this first spike in the music is going to be the initial drop in the song where the energy really picks up. That's the part of the song I mostly care about. Now, when I hear something I like, I'll go ahead and download it, but I'll also click this button to hear the songs that are similar, and I'll just continue downloading more options from there. Now, the great thing about Epidemic Sound is that you can download as many songs as you like, whether you're making videos that are for personal projects or for clients. They have amazing plans that cover both. Now, because I do a lot of both personal and client projects, I use the commercial plan. With the commercial plan, whenever you're done making a video for a client and you've sent it to them, you can simply log into Epidemic Sound and clear their video yourself to protect them from any copyright claims. Or if you are unsure of when your client is going to be publishing the content that you have created for them, you can just as easily send them a clearing invitation so that they can clear their own content when they're ready to upload. And of course, it is no secret that I absolutely love and adore Epidemic Sound. I've been using their music and their licensing for literally everything over the past several years now. So if you're interested in joining, then go to the link in the description below and use the code Daniel2021 and you will get an extra month free trial on top of the standard 30-day free trial. So that is 2 months if you go to the link in the description below and use the code Daniel2021. Thank you so much to Epidemic Sound for sponsoring this video. Okay, so after I've downloaded a handful of songs that I genuinely like, usually what I'll start doing is one by one dropping them into Final Cut underneath some of my footage, just to get a general idea of what this video could feel like with music. In the case of this spec ad, I ended up going with a song from Epidemic Sound called No Way. Now, where a lot of people go wrong once they get to this stage is that they settle on a song that they feel like could work with their video, and then they just slap it on there like a piece of bologna. Sure, let's go with that. So rule number 2 is don't use wallpaper music. When you download a song and you just slap it onto your edit like it's wallpaper, you end up with a music choice that looks like an afterthought. Your overall edit is a lot less cohesive, and this is the reason that a lot of the times when we're editing videos, we end up hating the video before we're even done. So here's how we fix that. So I've got the song here that I'm gonna use, but remember, I haven't even started my edit yet, so I have a lot of flexibility at this point with what I can do. For example, as much as I like the song that I've picked, I'm not really a fan of those super high-pitched vocals. A great feature that Epidemic Sound has is that they let you choose to download the songs in the form of stems, where each group of instruments are on their own separate track. So now very easily I can just select and isolate those high-pitched vocals, and just simply delete them right out of the song. Now, another thing I know about my video before I've even started making it is that it needs to be 15 seconds long. This is pretty standard for a lot of social media ads and commercials. So the next step here is to perform a little bit of surgery to create a 15-second cut down of our music track that still has a start, middle, and end. I'll bring in a blank generator and cut it down to exactly 15 seconds long so I can use it as a guide for my music. Next, I'm just gonna play through the chorus and find a part of the song where the video could potentially end. Right around there sounds good, so I'll cut all 3 of these and delete the rest. Next, I'm just gonna trim up the beginning of the song to fit within our 15 seconds and play that back. And I've decided that I'm gonna remove the drums from our intro here, and I'll only have them kick in right before the drop. And similarly, I'm just gonna trim up the bass track to also start on the drop as well. I'm just gonna add a subtle fade in here on our intro and fade out the drums on the outro as well. And now what we're left with is a nice cohesive 15-second cut down of our music track that we can edit to that doesn't come across like that afterthought wallpaper music that we were talking about earlier. But that is it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Epidemic Sound for sponsoring this video. If you would like to get that 2-month free trial, then go to the link in the description below and use the code Daniel2021, and I will see you guys in the next video.